Hey guys, I'm Heintje and it's time for our annual Enduro weekend in Hautes Riviéres, a truly great Enduro spot. But first an announcement. This week the channel reached the magical 1000 subscribers. Woohoo! When I started this channel over 2 years ago, I had no idea what to expect. And it hasn't always been easy to keep going, but all the nice feedback from you guys is what kept me making videos. So a very huge thank you to all of you, not just for subscribing, but also for the nice comments, and even for those who are just watching, I really appreciate it. For now, let's roll the intro and get into the riding. That's what you're here for after all, right? For this trip I could only bring one bike, and with the climbing involved this weekend it was an easy choice. Of course I bring my e-bike. I love that bike. Let me tell you why this bike is so amazing here. But before I can do so, first a bit of information about the weekend. This was a 3-day trip. On day 1 we rode in LHR, for day 2 we rode around Bouillon, and for the third and final day we went back to the Hautes Riviéres. This is important since I will be using the footage out of order. This just makes a bit more sense in the general story of the video, so don't be surprised when you see me hopping between locations. The first and most obvious reason this bike is great here is of course the pedal assistance. Yeah, you still have to pedal yourself and it still costs energy. However, at the end of the day this is the difference between being tired and exhausted. But what I see as the biggest advantage of the little bit of help, it allows you to not have to compromise. I mean, I can run heavy tires and 180mm of plus suspension with no problem. And that brings me to the point why I truly love this bike. As you can see, it can handle almost anything with ease, although the trail conditions did help a lot. They simply couldn't have been any better this weekend. There are a lot of trails that start with a steep roll-in. In the past these were quite scary. Now, well, it's not that I could just YOLO in, but with a bit of control it turned out to be okay. Another thing I used to have issues with are long steep sections. I know the GoPro effect hides the steepness, but trust me, this part is steep. And as you can see, everything goes well. It's not like everything was an instant success. I still make mistakes, mostly because I don't look far enough ahead. Something that sounds easy to do, but is one of the hardest things to execute. Although sometimes you just can't see what's behind the edge, in that case you just have to trust the trail or walk back and go again.
Okay, well.
This brings me to the most iconic feature of Bouillon, a rock roll. It's not even that hard, but you really have to know the line. Trust me, you do not want to go too far to the right. Once you know the line, all there is to it is absorbing the compression at the bottom. Again, something this bike is made for. From one iconic rock slab to another. This one is a real challenge when it's wet. When it's dry and dusty, this one is tricky as well. Now the conditions were just perfect. A few more sections I want to highlight. First this field of loose stones. Something really special to ride. Just don't break and you'll be fine. This one is on a trail that I've never ridden before. Unfortunately it isn't on trail forks, so it's hard to explain how you can find it. The rest of the trail is okay, fun high speed, but nothing that really stands out. Next section is probably the hardest section in LHR. Again, the GoPro makes it look easy. What makes it hard is that you drop in blind because of the tree, but you also need a bit of momentum to drop in. This makes it so you have to pick and commit to a line in an instant. One more turn I have to mention. This one I've tried a lot over the years and never got through without depths. Now I finally made it. First go. As you could have seen so far, this bike is just amazing here. It gives all the confidence to tackle the chunky and steep sections, yet it's still easy to get to the top of the trails. And that's why I love this bike. However, this might be the last time riding this bike for me. I've made up my mind and I'm gonna sell it. During this trip I came to the conclusion that this bike isn't right for me anymore. First reason, it just gets too easy for me now. Over the years I've had this bike, I've become a much better rider, for a great part due to the confidence this bike offers. Almost all technical sections go like this now. Slowly roll to the edge, look over the edge and let go of the brakes. Small mistakes in line choice are simply soaked up by the bike. One way to make a trail harder is to go faster, but going faster does not make the features harder, it just turns a roll into a drop. At one point I even realized that I was kinda daydreaming while going through rock gardens, just casually rolling through features that should take my full attention. The next reason is playfulness. The weight makes the bike cruise through rock gardens, however this comes at the price of playfulness. It's not like the bike doesn't want to play at all, it's just less alive than a lighter bike, something really obvious on rollercoaster trails like this one. I think this trail, which is already fun on this bike, can be so much more fun. Maybe I'm overhyping light bikes in my mind here, but the only way I can find out is by trying it for some time. And now the main reason why I think I don't need the e-mtb anymore. On the second day, after the second run, the motor of my bike just stopped working. I've tried a few things, but couldn't get it to work again. So no more assistance for me. No, it's not because of the reliability, parts break, I accept that. And this time the motor got replaced on the warranty, so no issue there. I even got kinda lucky that for the last day we booked a shuttle service, this 20-person bus. So we could do 11 runs this day instead of the 5 or 6 normally. And it didn't matter that my motor was broken. Downhill I barely use it anyway. About the uplift. I wasn't sure how to feel about this. I was just a bit afraid as this would make it feel more like a bike park and less enduro. And while this is the case, the fact that you can do twice as many runs is amazing. But let's not get distracted and go back to day 2. After my motor broke I could have called it a day, but I didn't. I continued and finished the climb. My heart rate was a lot higher now, but it wasn't as endurable as I expected. So after that one I felt I had enough energy to do one more climb. This time I had to walk most of it. The gear ratios on my bike are set up with the assistance in mind. Maybe walking is less energy intensive, I don't know. Anyway, I still felt I could do one more run. Again, a lot of walking involved. At the end of the day, I'd done around the same distance and height as on the first day. Yeah, it was a bigger effort, but nothing I couldn't handle. That's why I feel like I don't need the e-bike anymore. I'm fit enough to ride myself, therefore I can get a bike that's more fun and a bit more of a challenge on the downhills. And you know what? When I go ride non-e-bikes more, I only get fitter. For now this will be on my hardtail, but I will get a new full suspension bike. I've just not figured out what kind of bike I want. With that conclusion I've come to the end of the video. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you back for my next video. In the meantime, have fun riding. Houdoe.